a note on Relic and preparation by Robert Olen Butler. Two very interesting narratives. Both, and it seems all these stories will have Vietnamese heroes or heroines. In the first, we have a man who has a shoe which belonged to John Lennon. That's the relic in the title. And this is because he's wealthy. He has been almost always wealthy. In Vietnam, he had a fortune which he had abandoned once the communists came to power. Commies who gained the control of Vietnam because of what he calls spineless poor. Spineless poor who did not stand up to these no good communists. He says, I know it sounds bad, why do I speak about spineless poor? But then he goes on to explain that poor become spineless. If I would be poor, he says, it would happen to me. He says then again, like a magician, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how do I know this is the shoe of John Lennon? And he goes on to explain that there was a man who knew Lennon very well, and then the family felt bad about some items which caused pain, and so they gave them. Therefore, we have this shoe. Speaking of this, it just happened that a few days ago I had a program, a comedy thing, in which they were talking about the biggest mishaps, something like that. That guy killing Lennon instead of Yoko Ono, for instance, was one subject. Dark humor, tasteless, which tends to be the idea now. One show, Live at Apollo with Amy Schummer, nominated for 1 Emmy, pushes the boundary as far as they can be pushed, I'd say. She talks for a long time about sexual intercourse. Not just that, that's been a subject for comedy for a long time, but then with time, of course, intimacy, more intimate and apparently private details were brought into play, and now we're talking of positions like the magician, speaking of the magic of this guy in Vietnam, which is the woman has the guy behind, doggy style. He brings a friend in to continue in his place. So there's a friend doing this now, and he comes at the window and knocks the window and waves, I'm the magician, which is rape, actually. I think she even comments on that. But why bring it here with a dragon position? That's a guy from the audience who talks about it. It's incredible. A woman throwing things from her nose. I don't say this. You can contact me if you want to know, or Google and find out what's the idea with this. As well as the minivan and whatever other positions there were. Some of them incredible. I mean, probably not incredible. It's not incredible they exist. There's so many things that have been there for such a long time. But that they brought into the Apollo arena and Emmy nominated and becoming mainstream. Louis C.K. has some of his own, but let me return. So this man has the shoe of John Lennon, and he says, I'm interested to get another shoe of John Lennon, even if it's not the same pair. It seems the other was lost, the other shoe. And if they're different, I would still wear them, go out on the street and become a real American. Wow. Briefly, the preparation room is the place in a mortuary where they get the bodies of the dead ready. Wow, what an opening. So there's the two women, one is dead and the other one is preparing. He's using makeup because that was the final wish of her late friend. They had a very complicated relationship. They were very good friends from the age when they had no breasts. And then 7 years, I think it was. The dead one developed good breasts, which attracted the attention of her husband, who also happened to be this woman who's alive, this woman's love too. So they were both Catholic. They played tennis. While they played tennis, they met this guy who was bringing back the balls. The narrator, the one who's still alive, played a very good tennis. This guy even mentioned, you play a very good tennis, but he said it so that only she can hear. While the other was throwing all her balls in the net. But that was a clever strategy because the guy would have to go and pick so many balls and give them to her, and also get to see her bosom. So they became husband and wife when they announced, when this now deceased woman announced that she's in love with this guy and he loves her back. It was a shattering event, obviously. So now she's thinking of taking some kind of revenge with the corpse. What is that? Whether it happens, it's for you to read and find out.